See, there are two different types of stitching on that. That's squares and that's triangles, or diamonds, which makes it kind of fun. So the theme this Christmas is embroidered placemats. And you can see here I've got the printed templates for how each of them looks, and that is what's being stitched on the machine at the moment. The sunlight getting in the way. So I took the pattern from an old DMC book I've got, which was for hand embroidery, and I converted it into the design, and I took those and I converted those into design, and the initials should be stitching out shortly. So today I'm working on quilting the placemat using my Sashiko machine. I'm not doing a traditional design, just creating a diamond pattern. So it's two diagonal lines like that, and like that, and then that makes a diamond pattern. So if I tilt it more, it'll become more obvious. You can see it's a diamond pattern there, but when you work on it, it's sort of just diagonal lines. Now I've put green tape over the LEDs on this to not blow out the image. And you can see I'm just doing this on 5/8. Nothing too exciting, very standard. The next one I will do a much more traditional Sashiko pattern. And we're going to hop over, do one more, and what we'll do is we'll hop over the design and start from there. Okay, and we'll hop over that design. Hop over that design. Now comes the fun bit. Okay, perfect. So I need to spin this. So this, what I realized is, one of the problems you've got with this is that really it'd be so handy to have a double-sided quilting guide. So what I've ended up doing is just spinning this around every time, which I will, I think, try and find a double-sided one online, because it's a pain in the bum having to switch this. It takes so much time each time to just screw this in and then line it up again every single time you hit the end of a pattern. I'd much prefer having a double-sided one. Hop over about there. Now this one's a bit fun because there's actually a hole in the middle, so this is where the design of the foot is really good, because it tells you exactly where the needle is going to appear, so you can tell what you need, where you need to start and end. So you see I've used a blue erasable, water erasable marker there, which I will blot out soon. Okay, jump over that. we have to spin round and switch the quilting guide again. So it lines up there. Jump over the design. Jump over the design. Jump over that design. And time to switch again. So you get the idea, just back and forth and back and forth. It's quite an easy pattern to manage. But it does get a bit frustrating every time you have to switch. It's not the end of the world, but it'd be so much faster starting off. You didn't have to move the quilting guide around every time. Okay. Looks good. Off we go. Got a big jump this time. There. Another jump. 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 Okay. Spin round. And put the foot down. Switch the guide. And off we go again. So that's enough of that for now. I'm sure you will enjoy seeing the more traditional Sashiko when I get to it. So I have quite a few choices about the way I could put this pattern on over the quilt, however, or the placemat. However, ultimately what I've decided is to use the sewing machine and a large needle, and then use my pounce to mark the fabric. So we will walk through all the steps involved. But the first step I need to do is to actually secure all the layers together. So we will begin with that part. I'll use clips because it's easier, and then I will just stitch it in place. I would like to pull that up a bit more. Good. And this needs trimming to the final length, but for the purposes of just securing it together for now, I don't need to worry about that. I just need to get it held securely so that I can begin the Sashiko stitching on it. Begin on preparing this for the pounce. Okay, so I think I've set the machine to about 2, and I think I'm going to go with that. Sort of works to about the beginning and the end of every pattern. This might be a good idea to put the knee lifter on here. Make this a lot easier, I think. This is a lot of pivoting. Whoops. Oop. So we have holes now, which will work perfectly. So it's easy to mark that now. What I'm thinking is I will cut that and match it up with that, because that'll be nice and easy now. So let's start that and see. So I think the best place to start is right there, so the edge of that will line up. And that way should, and then if I move, and that way I can line it up nicely. So let's put the clip there, the clip there. Yeah, it's lying flat, so out comes the pound. And let's see. Pretty good. A little bit more here would be helpful. So just clip that there. A bit more down here. Okay. Yeah, so that works very well. So now what I need to do is continue marking the whole way along. I think now that I've done this, a free motion foot would have been easier, just to draw along those lines. It's far too much bother to pivot the fabric when you can just pull it straight through and move the paper rather than having to twist it all the time. It's too slow. Works very well and you get perfect holes, but it's just not really worth the bother. So what we do is we line it up and then the holes will be made there. So you have to move it along gradually to get the full impact. So if I just hold it there, it should be fine. Room for improvement. Okay, that's good. I'd say that's probably enough for now. So I have my extension table on, which fits my Janome cover stitch, or it might be the overlocker, but either way it doesn't matter, and I've put the feet from a sewing machine on instead, which is much better because it's lower. So what we'll do is we'll begin. I think we'll set this to quite a short stitch length of 2 because it's very narrow and a stitch gap of 2. Image is blowing out, so let me zoom in a bit and see if that'll make it less. We need to raise this up a bit. I don't know why this thing is grumbling today. Try again. The bobbin thread was definitely tangled, so hopefully I fixed it. Ooh, it's doing it again.